Listen to what the doctor says about another virus in the Wuhan lab they found evidence of, right? Its lethality, and how I think the host just was like, had so much going on. Here, just hear this for yourself. Check this out, Dr. Quay.
So I think obviously the most important thing is we've gotten through this pandemic in one form or another, but definitely not have another one. So some of the additional work I've done has shown that this very laboratory that I believe was involved with SARS-CoV-2 was working on the Nipah virus, which has an 80 to 90% lethality. So in December 2019, they were working on doing genetic synthetic biology with the Nipah virus. This has to stop. We need to stop doing these kinds of dangerous experiments and figure out if we can ever do them again in a proper fashion.
I covered this on my Unfiltered show this weekend on Fox with Pete Hegseth too. So did he just say that? So a well-respected doctor who's done some work on the Wuhan lab where they were producing deadly viruses like the coronavirus and making them more lethal to human beings by adding these furin cleavage sites and other things so they can infect humans more easily, was also doing work on another virus called the Nipah virus. NIPAH, the Nipah virus, which has a lethality rate of, from what I looked up, anywhere from 50 to 80%. I'm leading the show on Monday, despite this being an incredible news weekend, content-wise. What's happening at Southwest? I mean, there's really a ton of things, because I was stunned when I heard that. There's a lab in Wuhan that caused this global pandemic of a virus with a lethality rate, depending on your conditions, of only about 2 to 3%, depending on if you have conditions or not. For kids, it's minuscule. But they're also working on a virus that has a lethality rate of up to 80%. For liberals, that means 80 out of 100 people infected could die or will die. So I had to look this up. I called Matt Palumbo, who writes at my website, and I said, Matt, can you write a piece on this? It's in my newsletter today. Please, if you've ever read my newsletter, Bongino.com/newsletter, please read this article today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. Can't go back in time. Matt Palumbo, Bongino.com, be in a newsletter. Top scientist lays out case for Wuhan lab leak, warns they may have an even deadlier virus. So I looked this up and decided to do some homework because I'm like, all right, maybe, who knows, maybe he slipped. The left, I mean, I'm not suggesting he's a leftist at all, but, the left and stuff with fear porn, surely they would have taken advantage of this. But no, because it involves their Chinese Communist Party friends. You haven't heard anything about this anywhere outside of Fox. So here's the doctor in a research paper at Cornell University from September 19th of this year, Stephen Quay. That's the doctor you just heard in that clip. Nipah virus vector sequences in COVID-19 patient samples sequenced by the Wuhan Institute of Virology. I'm not a hysterical guy. You know what my golden rule about panic, right? Panic kills, and don't be a bed hitter with an S in front of it. For those of you who listen to my show for a while, we had an expression in the Secret Service for people who panic, because panic always kills. We call them bed hitters with an S in front of it. Don't ever be a bed hitter. But I went out this weekend and kind of stocked up on some stuff. I don't know. I'm not taking any chances anymore. So I looked up the Nipah virus outside of the research and did some more homework on it, NIPAH. And here's a BBC article about Nipah, the other virus that worries Asia. Quote, there are several reasons Nipah is so sinister. The disease's long incubation period, reportedly as long as 45 days in one case, means there's ample opportunity for an infected host, unaware that they're even ill with it, to spread it around. It can infect a wide range of animals, making the possibility of it spreading more likely. And it can be caught either through direct contact or by consuming contaminated food. Someone with Nipah virus may experience respiratory symptoms, including a cough, sore throat, aches and fatigue, and encephalitis. Well, that sounds bad. A swelling of the brain, which can cause seizures and death. Safe to say it's a disease the WHO would like to prevent from spreading. You think? Folks, how are we letting this Wuhan lab continue to do this? How is the WHO, how is this not priority number one? They have found sequences of this Nipah virus in the same lab that caused this last global plague. This would make this global plague look like a romper room episode. How is this lab continuing to exist without global international pressure to shut this thing down? I can't believe we're reporting on this Nipah virus.